Hey, this is Pierre Villaco talking. I watched a video from a French guy who made a video on the new Outlook and it was very good, so I wanted to do it in English. And I think, people need to understand that the new Outlook is going to come and replace the old Outlook and it's going to disturb people. So it's important to understand, how it can disturb people and what are the benefits so people get used to it. I've been working on the new Outlook. You can see this icon here, the new Outlook, for a while now, several months, and I'm totally fine. I rarely go back to the old Outlook, and I will show you a few examples where I have to go to the old Outlook and give you some feedback on some limitations. So first, you see that. So to switch to the new Outlook, in the old Outlook, you have a switch on top of your screen, the old Outlook, and you can go to the new Outlook. And that's what I did. And I kept the old Outlook here, so I could go back to the old Outlook if I have a problem. Hopefully, Microsoft will fix before they retire the old Outlook. They will fix some issues that still are here, but most of them in my day-to-day work they don't appear. So, what is the new Outlook? So the new Outlook is faster. I guess it's built on a web interface. It looks like very much like Outlook for the web, but with a client. And so you have a set of icon here, so you can switch from your email to your calendar. So that's probably one thing that people are gonna not like first. They will like to have the icon on the bottom. Here you have, it can switch pretty quickly, so you need to get used to it. It takes a few days or a few weeks to get used to this because your brain is wired to look somewhere else. So that's the first thing. There's a lot of things, and you can see there's a to-do here, and there's also Engage, Booking, OneDrive, and other things. Also, I think what's important is to understand that it's most of the features are there. Not a big difference. You can see the ribbon here. It's the same thing. Um, and so let's see a few things that are interesting in the new Outlook. So the first one is you can add people as your favorites, so that filters pretty quickly emails coming from your colleagues, for example, for your managers or your peers or whoever you want to add, and it creates a filter here. So that's a good benefit. Also, you have features like you can flag a mail and it will put that in the to-do. So if you go to the to-do, you will see the email flagged somewhere, hopefully. Apparently it didn't do it when I wanted to do it. But you can also, if you want to be sure, you can drag and drop this as a task or an event. Event will be a calendar, a task will be here. So here it did it. You can unflag this. You can check in your to-do list. So there's some interaction with to-do that is easier than before, I will say. I know that some people like to drag and drop their an email in calendar. You cannot do that now. It's not possible. So you have to go in calendar and as add as an event, and then it will add it in a calendar. It will pop up a window, and you can say when you want to manage this item. Uh, Another thing that is interesting, since I'm there, you can see that booking a time for a meeting is pretty easy because you have a nice interface that shows the next time available to book this meeting. So it's pretty simple. You can use a schedule assistant too if you want to go further and see a lot of people and move the timeline around. So it's pretty simple to manage and pretty straightforward and very useful to have the first dates here. Pretty clear. It's more obvious, I think, than in previous version. And also you have the Teams meeting right away. You can enable it. So no big deal here, but it's important to see that pretty quickly, and you don't lose features, and it's easier to access. So that's managing a calendar. So talking about calendar, there are a few things that I struggle with. For example, I wanted to add people that I work with here in the calendar, and I didn't find something. I can share my calendar, but I cannot open a calendar. That was weird to me. So actually, to do that, you need to go somewhere else. It will be good if we had an open calendar here. So you have to go there in the settings and go to the calendar. No, sorry. You see, I'm totally lost here. So it's here, add calendar. Uh, you can add calendar here. And what is a little bit weird is you need to add from a directory, and then you choose your email address because you can have several one, and then you can ask for somebody. You can look for somebody a calendar, and you can add it, and it will show this person in the calendar here. So that's the process that was you saw. I struggle a little bit because I don't do that very often. But that's somewhere people can struggle is to add somebody in their calendar. Something that is missing to me that is really annoying is you see, uh, I put it on Saturday so you won't see my calendar. But if I want to go to today, I don't have switch to today. I don't have that. I can see days by 1, 2 days work week, month, but I cannot jump in today. So I have to go back and click on the date. So it's pretty annoying. I hope that Microsoft gonna fix it. But that's part of the future. It's gonna hopefully gonna come to the new Outlook. So there's this nice bar that can, you know, sh- at the same time you can see your calendar, what's the next meeting, and you can switch to your to-do. Uh, so that's also nice to see what's coming without having to click on calendar when you're in email. Regarding the email, there's a few feature that are not existing in the old Outlook. Probably the snooze one is not. Uh, I don't remember actually if it's available, but you can snooze this email to get pop-up again later today because you want to deal with it. You can also pin an email. That's interesting because then if you're pinning an email, it comes on top, and whatever email you receive after, it stays on top. So it's a way also to not forget to deal with an email. I'm not a big fan of email, but that's a possibility. Also in the search, what is interesting, for example, if I'm looking for a keyword, I can search for this keyword and I can filter not only my email but also my Teams chat. So it's pretty interesting to see in centralized place, and I can filter down with this ribbon, mail sent to me or at mention me. At mention me is also something interesting because when I'm at mention, I can filter that just to see where I was at mention. And you will see that when I receive an email and I'm at mention, it shows a little at sign, as you can see on the top here. So when I don't over the email, I see the at mention, and also you receive a notification here. So when you're at mentioning in an email, that's really beneficial because when you do that, so you just have to at mention the person in the email, and they will receive this at sign, and they are put directly in the to list, and so it will, you know, probably will help them to uh, deal with your email quickly. So that's another thing that is interesting. It's this sign attention and the notification here. That's a very beneficial, and I think it should be good practice to add mention people directly in email. Not only because it attracts the eye to look at what where you were mentioned when you were mentioned, but also because then you can say this part of the email is for this person. So it helps people to deal with their email. So other than that, there's probably other features that I didn't talk about. So Loop component I think exists also in the in the old team, but it's definitely since it's a web-based uh, new version of Outlook, I think that there's more integration. I'm not sure to have all the details for that, and I'm probably going to investigate and shoot new videos about it. There's also another thing that you can do that I like is you can use a slash sign to find a document, attach a document. So when you tap slash, you can type a document and it will find the latest document you work with and present it to you. And so then you can add it and it will put it as a link. Um, so that's another benefit is as you're typing your email, you can reference to a person or to a file. Also, what I use very often is when you're sending an email to somebody and you want to attach a file. So let's do that. And when you want to attach a file, so let's pick up a random file, maybe, I don't know, maybe a picture, whatever it is, doesn't matter. So let's take a picture. So when you're drag and dropping this document, you see there's a OneDrive and attach. We don't see it very well, so I'm gonna expand this. Okay, so I'm gonna take this, and you can see you can attach a file, so it's attached, or you can put it in OneDrive. So there's only one version of document. For an image, it doesn't matter, but for a Word document or whatever, you can modify. It's really beneficial. So if I attach a file, so it attach a file, I still can upload it to my OneDrive if I want to do so. Um, so there's still possibility to change this. And if it's a big file, I think, let me see if I can find a big file somewhere in my documents. Um, it will show you a message telling you, let's sort them by size. Okay, so if I do that, attach a file, it tells me, you sure don't want to upload that and share the link? Because it's just sending a pretty big file. So I don't remember what's the size to add this message, but it tells you, it educates you, and that because most of the time you shouldn't attach a copy. And here the file is too big, so I cannot even attach a copy. So that's pretty useful too to have this trick. Uh, yeah, so that's probably the features I use the most. The add mention, the attaching a file, um, and where I'm struggling the most is probably the today in calendar. Other than that, it's pretty forward, except for one thing is you have some issues like if you're trying to open an ICS file or MSG file, it won't work. So I don't know, I'm not sure why I have this one. But here I have an ICS file, and if I try to open it, it doesn't open it and add it to my calendar. You see, it previews it. So I have to actually, I see there's add to calendar here now. So it's new. It wasn't there. So, but you need to know that it's here because before you were opening ICS, it was opening the calendar. Now the good news is it sees it's an ICS, so I can add to the calendar. So they added that probably recently, so now I can add it, but you need to know where it is. So the good thing you can see that things are evolving. The last thing that is definitely missing so far, and it's in roadmap for sure, it's working offline. If I turn off my Wi-Fi, then I won't have access to my email. That's a big problem for people who are not, having access to their to internet all the time. but they're gonna release a sync feature very soon. I've seen an article on that. I don't remember the date, but it's coming. It's in pipe. So hope this was insightful. There's definitely more. If I find features that are interesting, I will share them with my community. And if you have some you want me to share with the community, let me know. Hope this was insightful.